Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Higher Learning is on. It is I, Van Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
Do you have any lotion?
Are you trying to be funny?
No, I'm not. I'm
because
looking.
I'm ashy?
No, look
and I feel like you looked at my hands when you said that.
No, it's my ankles. I didn't realize these socks wouldn't cover
Look at me.
Yeah, see? But why are we ashy today?
I know exactly why I'm ashy. Because Copper likes to lick my lotion. And so I'm like,
Jesus Christ, that sounds bad.
Yeah. So if I put lotion on my legs, he likes to lick it off. A lot of dogs do this. He didn't always do this. I don't know where it came from. Anyways, I don't want him to, so I don't put lotion on. And I say I'm going to do it when I leave the house. And then I end up like this.
Why does that sound so nasty to me? Lick my lotion.
Well, you're saying lick my lotion. It's really that he's licking the lotion off my legs.
Lick my lotion.
I don't know if that sounds any better.
Something like that.
But I'm ashy.
You're ashy? What's going on with why you look like why you bundled up?
It's cold, and I don't know why you're trying to act like it's not. This morning it
was
was 30
that?
something. This is a coat. It's like my coat blanket. I take it on airplanes.
Right.
I wore it today because it is that cold. I'm in Uggs.
You feel like it's that cold in LA?
Yeah.
What's the temperature? Let's look and see.
Okay, this morning when I left the house, it was in the 40s.
Okay.
It's not that now.
Well, let me see what the temperature is because right now you look like you're on the frozen tundra of Higher Learning.
Well, you know how you can be like chilled to the bone when it's that cold and I leave the house? I'm cold all day.
But this is also something. So, okay. So the high today was this is Santa Clara. Wait a minute. Okay. The high today was 54. The low was 42.
Okay. When I left, it was 42.
So. Okay, the whole day. We got a week of chilliness. Oh man, tomorrow is a chiller. A low of 39 tomorrow. A chiller. I took Bozeman to the dog park this morning.
No coat?
Did I have a coat on? Yeah. I was wearing a hoodie.
Oh my gosh.
I was wearing a hoodie.
So Bozeman, well, he's a bigger dog. My dogs don't do cold or wet, and it was wet this morning as well.
Right. Yeah, no.
And Bozeman was fine?
He was running around. He was doing his thing.
Brownie literally was shivering in a corner.
Bozeman was running around, doing his thing, dogging it up. There's other dogs there. Shout out to, I met a new friend there, a gentleman by the name of Simon. He's an English football fan.
What does Simon look like?
Tall white guy.
How tall?
I'd say 6'4", 6'5".
Oh, that's not the same Simon.
So I met Simon. I met another woman who we're all talking. And the woman goes, "Don't you just wish that you can transform into a dog right now and play with them?" And just the way that it was said, it was just off-putting to we were having different conversations and she talked about,
you. She turned to you specifically or the group?
She turned to the group and was just talking about transforming into an animal and playing with the animals. And it just kind of threw the energy off a little bit. You know what I mean?
So you left?
No, I didn't leave. I mean, I stayed there and let Bozeman play for a little while. Bozeman's very bad with the balls. Like, he'll just take all the balls and guard them.
Aww.
And then, they'll try to get the balls to be like, "Arr!"
Really?
But he won't let the rest of them play. He's got to be better about that type of thing.
Oh, Bozeman.
Speaking of animals.
Yeah.
I'm here right now to advocate on behalf of P22.
Oh, we're not starting off with that. Come on.
Well, because
Donnie.
Thank you, Donnie.
Fine, you do that, and I'm going to speak on behalf of the fallen Chihuahuas.
Okay, well, let's do that.
Yep.
Okay. So, if you guys aren't aware of what's happening right now, there's a possibility that we're going to see the end of a love affair between a city and mountain lion. P22 is actively trying to be captured.
He's distressed.
The city of Los Angeles is looking to capture, should I say, P22. They're saying that these attacks on dogs are because he's getting older and he's distressed. Maybe, cognitively, it's not the same cat that he once was. It's like, I bring him in. This might take a couple of days. They say this might take a couple of weeks, might take a month to get P22. I just want people to remember that this is Mountain Lion that has given Los Angeles years and years and years of fun, has raised awareness about the plight of wild animals everywhere that have to live in urban habitats, has captured the spirit, the heart, and the soul of an entire group, of an entire city. Think about how LA has adopted P22 and how P22 has become a proud Angelino. Really, seriously, man, like this cat means a lot to a lot of people. And I just hope that those who are on the lookout and who are looking for P22 and who are going to probably have to bring P22 to some more controlled habitat are aware just how much this cat has meant to the city. This cat in and of itself is such a big, big example of how we have to keep an eye on the habitats for wild animals and how we have to keep an eye on how we are encroaching into the lives of these gentle but very important beings to the ecosystem. And I hope that this is a learning moment for everyone out there who cares about LA Cougars. Thank you, Donnie. Thank you very much.
Listen, if they have to put him down, it is sad. Like, to lose a life is sad, period. And I can even have sympathy for P22. Now, I'm not as connected to him as you are because I've only been here for 2 years. I did look up his age. He's 11. He's past his prime. Most mountain lions have a normal lifespan of about 10 years unless they're in captivity, and then it can double.
Right.
So he is getting older. And with age, we have seen him murder viciously that we know of 2 chihuahuas, 2 dogs. Don't shake your head at that.
Well, it's not murder.
He did. He intentionally took their lives.
Yeah, it's not murder, though. Like when you say murder,
say
murder
that to the people who lost their beloved pets.
Very
we know
sad
pets.
for them. I'm
we
very
know
sad for them.
That they are members of the family.
Murder is you're transposing human stuff onto animal. Your intent, murder, P22 is Mountain Lion.
A great Van.
P22
and Mountain
is Mountain Lion.
Murdered those chihuahuas.
He didn't murder anything.
Rest
By the way,
in
one
peace.
chihuahua didn't die. So only one chihuahua died.
Viciously attacked 2, leading to the death of one of them.
He hunted.
Murder and attempted murder on the chihuahuas.
P22, I'm not trying to get into. Go ahead.
Fine, he did hunt them. Yeah. Fine, but this is what I find interesting. You know, you always speak and advocate on behalf of Mountain Lion. It is within their nature to hunt, as you like to say. So why is it abnormal that he's hunting now and he wasn't in before?
Because before there was, number one, there wasn't a drought, so food was more plentiful, and he could hunt deer, rabbit, things of that nature. He wasn't hunting, he wasn't crossing over into the urban environments. That's what people are saying.
So is it distress or is he just trying to live?
Is he, right. Either way, sure, it could be distress. It could be distress because of the drought, because of the things that are happening, right? Because of the fact that his habitat is being encroached into more. I love how, and I gotta be real with you, this reminds me a lot of how things go. These animals were living here already. People come into their homes, fuck it up, and then say that they were the problem. That's what people are always doing. Nothing is more indigenous than an animal. An animal been living there. I'm not comparing animals to people. I'm not doing that. I'm just saying it's just so unfair now, right? It's unfair.
I don't know how you live with yourself in regards to, if you have that type of thinking, how do you go into your place, your dwelling, knowing that you took the home of some animal? How do you drive on these roads and freeways knowing that at one time this was home of animal as you would say.
Animal. Animal.
Home of animal.
You know what?
I don't even know how you do that.
Doesn't make me feel good, but you know what does make me feel good? Just like, because this is what people say, right? This is how people do. People like yourself. This is what they do, right? So if you tell people, hey, maybe consume a little bit less meat, good for the environment, they go, well, aren't your shoes leather? This is what the show Yellowstone has become.
Don't tell me about season 5.
Yellowstone has become, I love Yellowstone, it's become propaganda for the cattle industry. The show really has. Because it's like they have a character on there played by Piper Perabo. You've seen her.
Yeah,
the environmentalist.
She makes it to season 5? Oh, she has to.
Yeah, like the environmentalist. And then Taylor Sheridan and the rest of these people are just changing America's minds about the cattle industry and the meat industry, one quip at a time. She'll say something and then they'll say, hey, well, you know, when you plow, you kill all the animals to get your quinoa, everything under there, that all dies and blah, 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 blah.
They said that?
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's not true. I'm just saying it's pointed directly at a specific group of people because Taylor Sheridan is a cowboy and he's trying to make people understand that you're a hypocrite too. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the fact that you can't be totally pure. I can't be totally pure. I live in society. Yeah, see, I know what that was. That was nature making you cough. What I'm saying is you do the best you can and you don't kill P22 and you make sure.
They're not going to kill him.
I know that they're not, but I want to make sure that we keep LA a place where Mountain Lion has a home. I'm serious about this.
How many other P's are out there?
I don't know.
Why is it P? Patient? Product?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know why.
Come on, advocate. What's the P stand for, Donnie?
Stands for pet. No, I'm just joking.
No, that's what he kills.
Puma. Probably Puma.
You think it's Puma?
Puma 22.
Puma 22? I want to make a documentary about P22. I do. But seriously though, this is a big story about, do you know that there are all kinds of animals. I read up on it. It's like they have lost their habitat. Animals that have lost up to 33% of their habitat in the last 20 to 25 years.
It's sad.
It is. No, it's not sad. It's a crime against nature. You know what, Rachel?
It is for Puma.
It is?
Mm-hmm. How do you like the fact that he's got an electric neck collar?
You gotta keep an eye on him.
I don't like that.
You gotta keep an eye on him, you know? You gotta know where he's going and stuff. You know, there are sort of things we have to do, but let's see what happens with
Do you know there's a P22 day?
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. SaveLACougars.com. Everybody go to SaveLACougars.com.org. All right, and they're going to talk about P22. They're going to get you going.
Looks like somebody beat you too.
What?
The documentary.
About P22? Let me see.
America's most infamous mountain lion.
It's like, that's not, I mean, I can do another documentary on P22.
I'm just saying.
I do.
The cat that changed America. Their books.
P22 is a big deal. I got a P22 stuffed animal on the way.
Oh, did you ask the guy who had his on the roof? Is that who's P22?
By the way, because I know everybody loves to kick me in my nuts about everything that happens. I just want to say again, the picture that the Weisenheimers on, I love animals. And the way that you know that I love animals is because I love the jackals on the Reddit. They're animals. So it is a bunch of animals. Let me tell you something. The picture that they put on the Reddit is not the picture that Donnie put into the chat. It's a different picture. It's a different picture.
Just take the L.
I'll take it. It's fucking fine. It's fine. We have an interview in the show today. We got Kelvin Davis. It's a plus-size male model coming on the show to talk about his blog, talk about what it means to be plus size and a man. We're going to get to him a little bit later. On the other side of this break, though, the big deal of the day, well, I didn't ask you how your weekend was. What'd you do this weekend?
You know, I had a chill weekend, but
did?
Yeah, I did something exciting. I acted.
You acted?
Don't sound so disgusted.
Wow.
You know exactly what I meant when I said that. I acted.
In a show?
I was in a show. I can't say which one.
Is it on television?
Yeah.
It's like a big show?
Mm-hmm.
Can we play a guessing game where I try to guess the show?
No, well, you can, but Donnie's going to have to beep it out. You get 3 chances. I can't say because I'm not allowed to.
What network?
Well, that narrows it down. HBO Max.
Oh, okay. HBO Max. Nigga, it's 1 million networks.
Don't nigga me.
That helps. So it's on HBO Max. It's a drama.
No. You guess now. You stop getting in the
What are
categories.
you talking about? I gotta ask. What?
No.
It's not a drama.
No.
Okay, what's the last question that I can ask? Is the star of the show black or white?
Come on. This is so easy.
Rachel, do you know how to play these games?
Donnie's gonna guess.
Donnie, do you know?
Is it The Rehearsal?
No.
The Rehearsal.
I've never even heard of that.
Nigga, do you think that Rachel
You're right. You're right.
one second of The Rehearsal, Donnie?
No, I don't like where this is going.
No way that Rachel has seen that show before.
I don't like where this is going.
What are you talking about?
What kind of show is this? I don't like the way that you just threw that out there. Is it a Marvel show?
No, it's not a Marvel show, but it's too far out there for Rachel. All right, on the other side of this break, Donnie, respect yourself. On the other side of this break, we're going to get to the big deal of the day, and that is two friends having a conversation in San Francisco. Big deal of the day is Elon Musk and Dave Chappelle, pals. Chase Center. I saw this because I was watching the Warriors game. Mm-hmm. Watching a Warriors game Saturday night, and you see, them checking out the Warriors game, and you see sitting sideline Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. I'm like, oh, they must be playing there at the Chase Center because they got courtside seats. They love basketball, but I figured they must be playing there, and they were. Dave Chappelle was playing the Chase Center, which is up there, San Francisco. Chris Rock, and he decided that he would introduce the crowd to his good friend, the new CEO of Twitter, the also CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, Elon Musk. And there's video of this, but you don't really need the video. All you really need to understand the response of the crowd is the audio. Donnie, run that for us.
Tough road ahead, like sounds like. But you notice one thing, all those people are booing, and I'm just pointing out the obvious. You have terrible seats, and I understand. All coming from way up there, niggas, the last minute, non-planner niggas, boo.
There you have it. Boo, boo, boo. is what went on. They booed Dave Chappelle. They booed Elon Musk. They booed Elon Musk.
They booed Elon Musk.
They didn't boo Dave Chappelle. They booed Elon Musk. There's a lot of discussion about this on Twitter. Mm-hmm. So I woke up and I saw this, and there's a ton of people talking about the fact that this might point out to them, this might signal to them that Dave is a tad out of touch if he thought that Elon Musk would get any other response than boos in front of a stage full of random people, particularly with those people existing in a liberal bastion like Northern California.
Yeah. I think Dave Chappelle knew exactly what he was doing.
Interesting.
I think that there's no way that Dave Chappelle knew, because mind you, he introduced Elon at the end of his show.
Yeah, at the very end.
The very end. There's no way that he didn't know that people would have a big response. And as, with the things that he's said on stage as of late and the response that he's gotten, and, a lot of people calling to, for lack of better words, cancel Dave Chappelle, Dave Chappelle is one that likes to antagonize his crowd, social media, the public. And I think he knew people would boo Elon Musk. And I think he was entertained by it. And I think he set Elon up. I don't think Elon thought that. I think he thought he was going to come out and, maybe tell a joke or maybe make people laugh or say something. But there's one point in it where Dave Chappelle says something like, he says, don't say anything. It'll only spoil the moment while they're booing. He told Elon not to say anything. Just let the boos go. And I think he told jokes. Dave told jokes because that's what he does. And towards the end, he joked about Mars, and it was funny, some of the stuff that he was saying, but I think he did all of that on purpose, and I think he was part of a bit. I think Elon was not in on that joke.
Interesting. So do you think that Dave Chappelle subjected question. Do you think that Dave Chappelle subjected Elon Musk to the crowd?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you think that Dave Chappelle subjected the crowd to Elon Musk?
Elon Musk to the crowd.
Interesting.
I really think the whole thing was a setup.
To embarrass Elon Musk?
I do. I don't know how close they are. But I'm sorry, Dave Chappelle is smarter than that, and he's been on these stages, and he knows how, like, a comedy show can go. There's no way he thought people would be excited about Elon. There's no way, because Elon seems to be shocked that he thinks that all his hate comes from social media.
Yeah.
And that people in real life don't actually feel that way.
Right.
And to his surprise, they actually do.
Right.
And I think that's the way he thought. I'm not shocked that people were booing.
Huh.
I don't think that it takes a genius to think that there would be any other reaction. I don't think people would be cheering to see Elon Musk, especially in San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Dave Chappelle, it was a bit. It's just Elon wasn't on it. I think he knew exactly what was going to happen.
So then in that case, you don't think that Dave Chappelle and Elon Musk are really friends?
No. I think that if Elon was like, you want to come to the show? I think he was like, yeah, I want to come to the show.
Dave Chappelle says that they're friends.
He said that. He said that on stage, right?
Uh-huh. So, I mean, look, okay, because
Do I think they're really good friends?
So
no.
I think this is a fascinating sort of way of looking at it because in a way, it absolves, and I want to make sure that we keep this.
Dave.
It absolves Dave Chappelle for a lot of what people are should I say, what a lot of people are thinking was a really out of touch.
He's too smart for that. He was roasting Elon on stage, kind of. Like,
was he? You feel like he was roasting Elon on stage?
Like towards the end? Like, I mean, yeah.
He roasted the audience.
He roasted the audience when he said where the boos were coming from. But that was the only thing towards that. I mean, for him to say, don't say anything, it'll spoil, like, this is civil unrest. Like, he's making jokes. I thought he kept him on stage. It was really 5 minutes he was on stage, just subjected to boos.
I thought
that's not what a friend does.
I thought the civil unrest joke was Donnie, run that part. Let's run particularly what Dave said about civil unrest. Let's specifically get to that part and run it.
You niggas can move if you want. This nigga gave me a jetpack last Christmas. Fly right past your house, nigga. Move these nuts and you'll find my jetpack. That's how we like to chill. We do ball the shit.
Dave, what should I say?
Don't say nothing.
Okay.
It'll only spoil the moment. Do you hear that sound, Elon? That's the sound of pending civil unrest. I can't wait to see which store you decimate next, motherfucker. You shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. That joke, that right there, that's the sound of pending civil unrest. Which store you can desolate next? As if I'm not gonna clutch pearls.
Decimate.
I'm not gonna clutch pearls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna clutch pearls. There's no pearl clutching involved. But as if people woke up one day and decided, let's manufacture something to be upset about so we can go out there and fuck up a target. No. The reason why people did what they did the last time there was large-scale civil unrest in 2020 was the same reason why Dave Chappelle decided to make an entire comedy special called 842 about something abhorrent and disgusting that he saw. The same emotion that Dave Chappelle used when he was on the stage was the same emotion that led people to destroy what essentially is capitalism and commerce. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, Rach. I think you might be giving Dave a little bit too much credit. Because, I mean, I'm not.
I think both are true.
I don't have the claws out right now, but
Sure.
this just seemed like a blind spot, and far be it from us to not come to terms with the fact that Chappelle he's sort of showing us that he has some blind spots in these last couple of years, no?
Yes, absolutely. But when I say both are true, I do think he brought him on stage to antagonize the crowd. He knew he was going to get a reaction, but I also think he was setting Elon Musk up. I do.
In a way, but when you say setting him up, you're saying set him up in a way to embarrass Elon?
I do. I really do.
Oh, I disagree.
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Not both where, like, I don't think that
it's an
he
interesting
didn't
perspective,
know.
though.
I really don't think he was like, I'm going to bring my friend out on stage, because, he's got roots here in Northern California. I don't think that's what he was thinking. I just don't think it was that simple as, I'm just going to bring Elon Musk out. He's backstage. He wants to come out. You know how many people probably go to his friends come to shows and they don't come out on stage? Like, Musk had a mic. I really think he thought he was going to come out there and do something. It's like,
well, Elon Musk,
his presence alone is going to fuck with y'all. I think he wanted to fuck with people.
I think that Elon Musk is not even, Elon Musk doesn't have a scintilla of the self-awareness that it would take to understand just what the reaction to that crowd is going to be. And one reason that's true is because Elon Musk, as this Bond villain-esque sort of hyper-rich rabble-rouser, is a relatively recent development. Like, Elon Musk was pretty popular up until around 2018, 2019, when it started to get a little weird. And as his personal politics have sort of kind of taken over a little bit and he's turned Twitter into his own sort of regurgitation tank, I think people have started to kind of see that a little bit more.
Right.
But I don't think that Elon Musk realizes right now how much people fucking
I agree.
can't stand him.
I agree.
And I also don't think that Dave Chappelle realizes how much people can't stand Elon Musk.
Agree to disagree.
I
do.
Yeah. Okay, so this comes on the heels of Elon Musk tweeting out that his pronouns are prosecute/Fauci, which a lot of people took umbrage with. Number one, because a lot of people love Dr. Fauci, number one. And then number two is that it makes fun of and sort of lampoons, if you will, the use of pronouns, which people take as being transphobic. People also connect the fact that he would do something transphobic to the fact that Dave Chappelle would bring him out on the stage, but you don't.
Well, when was the time? He tweeted that and then came out on stage?
He tweeted that, I
didn't
think
know this
Friday
the
or
time.
Saturday, maybe like Friday or Saturday. And I think this was Sunday that he was on stage.
Oh, I mean, I think
It was earlier the same day.
It was earlier the same
Sunday.
day, should I say.
I think that Elon was always going to come to the show, and I think Dave was always going to, once Dave knew he was coming to the show, he was going to. I understand the correlate, like the two. It makes perfect sense. And he, again, could have brought him out to antagonize the crowd, which I do think that there was part of that. But for me, I think this was always going to happen once he knew Elon was coming.
Let's talk about a couple of reasons why people might not like Elon Musk. Okay. Just so people know, Tesla, Elon Musk's company, was, and maybe still is, a hotbed of racism. And I don't mean to say that in a way that in some way sanitizes it. Multiple motherfuckers say that working at Tesla was racist as fuck. Okay, 46 lawsuits. Former and current Tesla employees allege that they were targeted and harassed based upon gender and race. This is crazy shit. All right, you have 24 women that have sued Tesla in the past 5 years, alleging that they were sexually harassed, groped, or physically assaulted, and in some case denied pay, raises, and promotions. So anyone who thinks that some of Elon Musk's worldviews or the shambles that he has turned the Twitter infrastructure into, or him kind of being this sort of mascot for far-right power, that those things don't have an effect on real people beyond sort of propagating these ideas with the loud microphone and loudspeaker that he has. No, there is reason to believe, and there's been money paid, $137 million paid to one particular black man, because people went into bathrooms at Tesla and said that they saw swastikas on the in the bathroom stalls, and that after telling Tesla brass about this, they would get responses like, hey, we want to keep this environment turned up. We want to keep this environment for people who have thick skin. And while they're telling people that people are routinely using the N-word at Tesla, that they were like responded to with people saying, hey, you have to have thick skin to work at Tesla. So some of these worldviews that you might see on Twitter or in an interview, these things are a part of what goes on, apparently, judging by these lawsuits at Elon Musk-led companies, which makes people wonder about Apartheid Clyde's fitness to be like who he is in the culture. We forgot about the fact.
For a second, I forgot. I was like, oh, yeah, shit, you're right.
We forgot about the fact that he was... that
he grew up in apartheid.
That he grew up in apartheid, and sort of emerald mines are what funded this person's life until he came over into Silicon Valley and started making moves. So, this isn't just Elon. The problems with Elon Musk go a lot deeper than a couple of problematic tweets. These are real problems that real people, real black people are having. And so when I see Dave Chappelle, somebody who took time away from his show,
the last 5 minutes, his show's over.
No, I'm talking about the Chappelle show.
Oh.
Dave Chappelle left the set of the Chappelle show and ventured out into the world because of what he perceived to be inappropriate laughing, inappropriate racial dynamics in the workplace. But it doesn't seem like he has that much problem with a guy who doesn't give a fuck, not only if people are calling black people niggas in the workplace, but painting swastikas on bathroom walls.
I'm not a Dave Chappelle apologist by any means. I do think that sometimes he's caught up in, oh, y'all came at me for this. And I don't know if I should say it this way. I work with somebody who was on a hot mic, obviously, we know.
Billy Bush.
With the whole situation. And I constantly see him, I don't want to say the word take up, and this isn't a secret, but always understanding when somebody has some type of controversy and feeling the need to speak out. I think that's a little bit of what Dave Chappelle does. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not apologizing. And I think that he likes to antagonize people for the way people came at him. I don't agree with it by any means. That's why I think one of the reasons he brought Elon Musk on stage. And I think and I don't think that it's going to stop there. I think we're going to continue to see him bring controversial people out. I mean, Elon Musk is more than controversial, but I think we're going to see him bring people like that, either speak up, bring them on a show, sit next to him at a game, whatever it may be, because he feels like he wants to antagonize the people who came after him. I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm not saying that Billy antagonizes, but I constantly see him wanting to speak out because something happened to him. And anytime something happens to somebody else, he's like, but wait a minute, I know what it's like to go through this, 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 and this.
Just so people know, I understand what you're saying right there. It makes a lot of sense. Just so people know, Marcus Vaughn is the former employee. Elon Musk addressed Marcus Vaughn's concerns in an email. This is what the email said. Part of not being a huge jerk is considering how someone might feel who is part of a historically less represented group. Musk wrote in the email. Sometimes these things happen unintentionally. In which case, you should apologize. In fairness, if someone is a jerk to you, but sincerely apologizes, it is important to be thick-skinned and accept that apology.
Get over it.
Okay. Problematic for many reasons, right?
Yeah.
But one reason is because it fails to address the larger issue of whether or not Tesla is committed to creating a safe workplace. It fails to address saying, hey, be nice, but apologize when it's not the question. The question is Tesla or any of your other companies,
Right.
including now with Twitter, are they dedicated to creating safe workplaces for Black people, for women, for gay people? Are you dedicated to that? Because saying people fuck up, apologize, and you should accept their apology is not saying, hey, we're going to make sure that people know that it is not okay at Tesla to espouse racist, anti-Semitic, transphobic, or gay rhetoric.
Yeah, no, he doesn't care.
Don't think he's... Rachel, I'm going to be honest with you. I think you gave Dave Chappelle a lot of credit in this.
Maybe I did. And I'm sure they'll come after me. I'm sure they did. But I really
to be honest with you,
I looked at it both ways.
I hadn't considered it. I think I hadn't considered that maybe Dave was trying to play Elon. That's interesting.
Well, the only reason I say that is because a lot of times when Dave Chappelle's doing his comedy specials or whatever, his monologues, it's never exactly as it seems. And so when I first saw it, I was like, okay, let me not look at it for what it is. Let me think maybe it's something else. That's why. But I'm sure y'all come at me. Whatever. I see it both. I see it. I see it.
She sees both ways.
I see it.
It's rage time. All right, Kanye West. Kanye West was on Clubhouse. And I don't want to go through the whole thing because this has nothing to do with Kanye West. I want to actually talk to my people a little bit here.
Yeah, talk to your people.
Kanye West was on Clubhouse. He said this about Rosa Parks.
It just looks to me, I just put that as a proposal. Everybody knows Obama not from Chicago. He's only in the Senate like a half a term. They know they plan that all the way, you know what I'm saying? Since 1948. All of these movements, I know woke finna be mad at me, but all of these heroes, man, is only one. That's Jesus Christ. You're going to find out something about MLK, something about JFK, something about Malcolm, something about Rosa Parks. We know Rosa Parks is a plant. We know all of these things, right? And they use these media outlets to outrage. Outrage is an economy, the trauma economy. The trauma economy.
All right, you can cut him off. Okay, so I don't want to talk about any of what happened on Clubhouse or why Ye was on Clubhouse or any stuff like that. I just want to make sure that people understand the bullshit that was just spewed out. Okay, so Rosa Parks was not a plant. I'll tell you the difference between, I guess, Rosa Parks and some other people. Rosa Parks had been working for the NAACP prior to what happened in Montgomery. The bus driver of Rosa Parks bus, man, I think his name was James Blake, had a history of being particularly aggressive with Black people. What happened on the bus was intentional, but that's because Rosa Parks in her life moved with intention. Rosa Parks and the people who wanted to shake up the system there in Montgomery, they had a purpose. And so everything that they did was with a purpose. And their purpose was to make that community better for Black people. So they moved with that purpose. They had tried to stage other boycotts or have other incidents that would bring people's eyes to what was going on down there. And it was purposeful. But because it was intentional doesn't mean that it wasn't powerful. Intention is power. The power is in the intention. Okay? So there's a difference between someone who runs around wherever he can be heard and says a bunch of outlandish, outrageous, sometimes contradictory things, and a woman who dedicated her life to the betterment of her people, sacrificed, because the entire time the Montgomery bus boycott was going on, Rosa Parks was jobless. Rosa Parks' husband had to leave his job. Okay, she sacrificed. She took less than, not just her, but the Black people in Montgomery, Alabama got together intentionally, not for anyone to look at them, but to make a better society. So anyone who's out there who's going to go read now that what happened on the bus that day was part of an intention by either Rosa Parks, the NAACP, whomever down there, to call attention to the segregation of the buses in Montgomery. I don't want you to be fooled by what is starting to become the tactics and the wisdom of white supremacy that just spew out of Ye's mouth.
Mm-hmm.
What was happening down there was very purposeful, but it wasn't purposeful for any trauma economy. It wasn't purposeful so that people would have any sympathy for Black people. It was purposeful so that Black people did not have to be second-class citizens on the buses of Montgomery, Alabama.
Yep.
And Black people did that for themselves. After she refused to give up her seat for a white man, Black people came together and said, we will not ride the bus. In that bus boycott, they said that it would be successful if 60% of Black people didn't ride the bus, that they could bring the infrastructure down there to its knees. That's not what happened. They got damn near 100%. They got 100% of Black people to stop riding the buses in Montgomery for over a year, crippled them economically. And after that, you saw change.
Mm-hmm.
And that was done by some of the most brilliant, some of the most brave, some of the most enterprising people, Americans in history, Black, white, red, or green. So when you go read something and you read about the fact that the Montgomery bus boycott and what Rosa Parks did was on purpose and it wasn't an accident that she didn't give up her seat, I want you to be more proud and more indebted and more excited about what people were willing to do for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to make sure it's nothing to do. I'm not going to go wax poetic about this guy. I'm just going to tell you that it's important that we understand the sacrifices that were made and the people who are just talking.
That's great.
Did you hear the new R. Kelly?
Come on, man.
Can I be honest with you? I want
you were curious. You were curious.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't
What are you gonna
listen
ask
to
me?
one note.
What are you gonna ask me? You read the lyrics.
I didn't listen to one note. I wasn't curious. No, excuse me. I didn't listen to one note. I can't say I wasn't curious.
Of course you were curious. I was curious too.
I can't say
especially with the title.
I can't say I wasn't curious. I was curious, and I made it like a whole thing. Van, don't listen to it.
Of course you were curious. You guys, the name of the album was I Admit It.
Yeah.
Talk about a draw.
Mm-hmm.
I too wanted to listen. Now we can't because it's been pulled.
Been pulled down.
From all streaming platforms, or at least from Spotify and iTunes. Good job, Spotify, for doing the right thing.
How tough would it have been for us to do the podcast if Spotify would have left it up?
We'd have to call him out.
We'd have to call him out.
We'd have to call him out.
You'd call him out. Call him out. Yo. See, that's the issue. That's why we can't be corporate, man. We got to be,
As we sit in our
Spotify studios, we can't be corporate. We would have had to call them out, and then they'd have been like, "Yo, we listen to what you say." You know what I mean? Because I imagine the Spotify brass being like white people with cool glasses. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about?
What they look like?
Yeah. Like white people with cool glasses. You know how that is? Because you can go and... Do you know what I'm saying? White people with cool glasses, like they got nice...
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The clear glasses.
The clear glasses.
Yes,
you know what I mean? They got
exactly
cool
what
glasses. Mm-hmm. And because you feel like they good at making you feel like they understand what you're saying, but then you leave and that should still be up.
Well, listen, people pointed out the fact that, there's neo-Nazi music on these platforms. Bands that talk about that kind of stuff and put that rhetoric out there.
Yeah.
And they're not pulled.
What do you feel like the line is?
Because
people say the same thing about Amazon in the Kyrie documentary.
Right.
Like, what's the line between...
I don't know.
Like, not censoring and, like, having problematic things out into the ether and protecting people from things like...
This is clearly not... especially with the title, I Admit It.
From a convicted sex trafficker.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is clearly a line that needs to be drawn.
Do you draw the line at like crime? Like if you're a convicted rapist or a convicted pedophile, a convicted murderer? Because isn't there the Son of Sam law? Isn't there the Son of Sam law that says that you can't even like make money off of your crimes if you are in jail. Isn't that the Son of Sam law? Son of Sam.
Like if you're guilty?
If you've been found
well, I mean,
guilty,
if you're in jail, yeah.
if you've been found guilty of a crime, you're in jail. You can't make money off of that by writing a book or making a movie.
But don't
about
people
yourself.
do that in prison?
I don't think. I don't know if that's just a state.
They're not making the money.
Well, people. Yeah, I mean, you can't write your own book, and I don't know.
Didn't Dahmer get stuff written and made about him while he
got stuff written and made about him, but I mean, his father wrote a book, and the book kind of flopped. But I mean, Charles Manson wrote a book, Helter Skelter. I'm not sure. That might just be in New York. We'll look into that for the next podcast. I'm not sure.
That's interesting. But how did R. Kelly get this far? That was my question.
Recorded it from prison.
How?
On a cell phone.
How?
What do you mean, how?
We can't be acting like you just got cell. So he was just sitting in there singing in his cell on his cell phone and nobody noticed?
Nah, they was down with that shit. What you mean?
Who was down? I mean,
People
clearly
were
he
down.
had help, but I'm just saying.
Do you know what the people in prison do?
Yes,
Making
I
a
do.
record is by far is the least of things you can get away with in jail.
I'm just saying that's a very out loud thing.
Yeah, they made whole fucking
whole
rap
album.
videos in there, in jail.
I'm not
They got
saying
all
that-
kinds of stuff. They got a whole economy in there. How many of your people locked down right now?
My people?
Yeah, how many of your people locked down?
I don't think anybody's locked down right now.
How many?
Maybe in and out.
Have you been to a lot of prisons to visit people inside the prison?
No, not for people I know, only for the work I used to do. So I used to have to go when my civil cases would cross over. Actually, what am I saying? When I was in Milwaukee, my third year, I worked as a public defender. So I would I would go to jail, like the county jail, to do stuff.
So I visited a lot of jails. That's why I know that people can do a lot of stuff there in the jails.
Well, I had one friend who did a lot.
I visit a lot of prisons. Visit Angola, visit Hunts, I visit Cochran. I visit all of these different prisons where my uncles have been locked up. Shout out to all my uncles. Rest in peace, my Uncle Mark. And the wackest thing about going to visit a prison was that you get maybe like, and it was different. Like some places you would go and you'd be able to sit at a table. Cause I could go like give my Uncle Mark a hug when he was locked up. I could go like sit at a table with him. And then some places you would go and they would be behind a glass.
Yeah.
So it just depends, right? But like it took all day. Like you would get there at a certain time. There would be, you'd get there and you drive up, you would park. And then you would park and you'd wait on this little shuttle. You wait on this little shuttle. The little shuttle will take you to a little building. You fill out more paperwork in the little building, right? You're filling out paperwork. You're doing that. You waiting in a little building. You waiting in a little building. You waiting in a little building. You get in that little building, and then they then they take you to another place. And when they take you to that place, now you're waiting to actually see your loved one. That might take 45 minutes to an hour. So you didn't got up, you didn't drove out there. Prisons don't be like around the corner. They be in some place. So you didn't drove.
Like county.
Yeah, you didn't drove out there, right? Then after you didn't drove out there, you didn't got into the little thing, right? You didn't gone to the other place. They didn't put you through all of this stuff, looked at all of your shit. Then you go to the other place. Now you wait for him. By the time you get to see your uncle, you really 4 or 5 hours deep into whatever journey this is to be able to say what's up, right? The only thing that keeps you from acting a fool is your grandmother. Because like whenever you go to do these visits, it's always like my grandma looking at one of her sons or either my maternal grandma, it's both of my maternal grandmothers, but either on my mama's side or, excuse me, both, no, I said it right. Either my maternal grandmother or my paternal grandmother, they're waiting to see one of their sons. And they don't give a fuck. They will cross the hot desert and the sea to be able to see him.
Sure.
But me, especially early on, it was cartoons on. And I'm like, yo, man, how long this shit gonna take? You know, and then you get there, you get a cool hour, it's over. You get out, but they tell you about all kinds of stuff that they're doing. My Uncle Mark told me about this special dessert that he could make in prison. He would take like because I would go to the vending machine and I would be able to get some cookies, but I could also get him some cookies as well. You know what I mean? And he would say that he would take the cookies and like smash the cookies up and submerge them in water and take the cookies and mix other things with them Like they had like a special dessert that they could make in prison. And it was like, you laughing.
I'm not laughing.
But like somebody tell me about this. Look, somebody tell me about this prison dessert that they have. It's like they make a little cookie.
Like a little cake.
Like a little cookie mold cake, and they put different stuff in it or something. But he was telling me, so they can do stuff in prison. I know I got people right now that's locked down that they call me on their cell phones.
Now that I used to have with friends.
Yeah, they call me on their cell phones. They
but
got
still,
cell phones.
This shouldn't have happened. Glad they took it down. Now it should be known that he wasn't admitting that he did anything in regards to what he's been convicted for. It was that he admitted that he dropped out of school. He admitted that he didn't go to church.
Yeah.
He maintains his innocence.
He had a couple of tracks on there called Freaky Sensation.
Like we don't want it. Talk about not being we don't want it.
Man.
We don't want it.
Chill, man. Kelly gotta chill. All right. The album was an unofficial release, they say, but it's been pulled down from everything right now. All right. We are going to take a break, but on the other side of this break, we're going to talk to Kelvin Davis, plus size male model. Yeah. I need fashion tips. And Kelvin's coming through with the tips. We're going to talk about what it means to be plus size, what it means to be body positive and body healthy. Mm-hmm. Those two things coincide. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what people say. Sometimes people go, you can't be both. Well, we'll see. Kelvin will tell us. That's on the other side of this break on Higher Learning. All right, you guys, it's winter. And because it's winter, that means one thing. You got to go get you a big nigga. That's what you got to do. Like, we're cozy. We warm up the bed. You know what I mean? Like, we can support things. You can hang ornaments from us. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're big guys. It's really, we talk about it's cuffing season. What it really is cuddling season.
It is.
And right now, the big guys, we're in style. We have one of the first big and tall style influencers and the first Black big and tall model for Gap and Target, Kelvin Davis.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Kelvin, you're the creator and founder of Notoriously Dapper, body positive style fashion blog and style guide. You were nominated for an Image Award for this.
Yes, I was. Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a question, Kelvin.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't want to start the podcast off on a very down note, but I want to ask you something. Over the last couple of years, since I'd say 2020, I've gained 55 pounds.
Okay.
I've gone from being pretty svelte to shopping at the military supply store. Okay.
Okay.
If a guy was coming to you, someone who seems to be so body positive, somebody that's still fashionable and stylish, even though you're a bigger guy, and they were struggling with being able to care about their clothes, care about the way that they look, because they're not quite happy with their body, what would you say to a person like that?
The first thing I would say to them is to try to find confidence in something other than just what their body looks like. I try to tell people that if you can find confidence in your ability to, let's say, like do something, like let's say you're really good at art, or you're really good at braiding hair, or you're really good at, architecture, like anything, right? So it's about finding confidence inside of what you can do, and then understanding that that would not be possible if it wasn't for your body. Right. Mm-hmm. So then the second layer is to understand that this is the body that I am in. This is my vessel. This is what gets me going every day. This is what helps me create the things that I do. This is what helps me live, take care of my mom, whatever. You know what I mean? So people have to understand that your body is more than what it just looks like. It's about the things that your body can do for you.
Like that. Kelvin.
Powerful.
Yeah.
For those who are listening who may aspire to be model, big and tall model, I'm curious as to how you got into this industry, and maybe what advice would you have for someone who's looking to break down those doors and get in as well?
Yeah, of course. So I started in a much more untraditional way because, you hear about all these stories about models getting scouted on like trains and I don't know, like fucking like walking down the street. Wait, am I allowed to curse in the podcast?
Yeah,
curse it up.
Okay,
God damn it, let's go.
All right, fuck.
Get that fucking
So, like,
filth
just,
out of your soul, Kelvin. Let's do it.
They're like, like fucking like walking down the street. They're like, you're so beautiful. Like, have you ever thought about being a model? It wasn't that kind of like fairy tale thing that most people that I've modeled with have encountered. Mm-hmm. Mine was very untraditional. I started this blog. I started it when I was a middle school art teacher as well. Mm-hmm. So the blog was kind of a liaison from what I was doing in the classroom and what I was doing in real life, which was teaching these young Black boys how to be gentlemen, how to have manners, how to have style, and how to be confident, right? So that led to, people just being, curious if body positivity existed for men. And, SEO was my best friend at this time, because whenever people would type in male body positivity, the first hit that would come up was my blog, because I was the only male body positivity blog. So just based off of like public curiosity, I became like this, Superman of like body positivity for men. And that's what led me into being all the modeling and influencing and, authoring and all those kind of things.
It's amazing.
Let's have a conversation here. Let's talk about the intersection of body positivity and health.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about it, please.
Let's
Lord,
do this, okay?
Let's do it.
Because I work out every single day. Mm-hmm. I've been hitting the weights hard. I'm getting strong. I've been doing squats, all different types of squats.
That's great.
I'm doing my thing, right?
Yeah.
And I'm finding that getting a little older, I need to strengthen different parts of my body. I was a huge basketball player, boxer, all of those things. So I'm trying to make sure my body stays strong. And at the same time, obviously, I want to lose some weight. But there's a conversation about whether or not you can be healthy at a bigger size. So there are people that believe that body positivity cuts against health and longevity. And particularly in the Black community, there's a conversation around whether or not people like Lizzo, like yourself, are promoting what some people would say are unhealthy lifestyles and unhealthy body sizes. I'm sure you must hear that.
Yes.
What is your response to that?
My response to that is, especially with the Lizzo comment, because I know a lot of people that are nowhere near the size of Lizzo, and they can do half the things that Lizzo do. Like, this girl can dance, play the flute, and all these things on stage, and without getting winded. I know girls that are half her size, or men that are even half her size, that can't even walk up a hill without getting winded, right? So I think there is this like gray area between body positivity and obesity that people seem to intersect. I feel like a lot of people think that body positivity is a bunch of like fat and obese people basically saying, I could be fat and still be happy. Yes, that's what they're saying. But at the same time, body positivity is for everybody, every size, every race, every gender, every sex, right? So I tell everybody, it doesn't matter if you're skinny, if you're big, you can be body positive. Because the simple fact is that body positivity is just the fact that you love your body as it is. And you're not feeding into what the societal standards of beauty is to try to fit something, right? I read this article the other day on GQ that men are like getting their fucking legs broken to be 3 to 6 inches taller.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this?
I have.
Sadly, yes.
It's crazy. Like, so for me, it's like, for that, it's like, dude, you don't need to get your legs broken. I mean, to be like 3 to 5 inches taller to feel good about yourself, right? It's about like, you can be happy with the way that you are without going to the extreme of getting like BBLs, lipo, or all these other things, right? Like, if you are unhappy with your body, that's one thing for you to make a change. If you're unhealthy, your doctor tells you need to make a change. Like for me, last year, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, right? So I had to make a choice. I have 2 kids I have to live for, right? So I'm like, I have to make a choice in order to lose weight and eat better in order for me to live a healthier life. But that doesn't mean I'm no longer body positive. Because how can I be body positive from the grave, right? If I just die from not taking care of myself, from having type 2 diabetes. Yeah.
you continue to break modeling standards and you push the fashion industry to be more inclusive. How far do we still have to go? Like, what would you like to see changed when it comes to body positivity or inclusivity in the fashion industry? I mean, I know we're seeing more plus size models on the runway. Fenty has the
Fenty
plus
male.
Past Fenty male.
Fenty male, big plus size.
We're seeing it, but I feel like it's slow. So what would you like to see to push the fashion industry to do more?
I would like to see more people of color across the board, period. I feel like Fenty and Rihanna are like the only brand that really, really like encompasses people of color. And I feel like other brands, they do body positivity, but they do it, and we all know it's true. So whoever listening, they can be like, no, it's not true. You know it's fucking true. They always do the curvy white chick, and they're like, oh, body positivity. Like, I hate the fact that like that's become the face of body positivity, especially on Instagram. People that have like this hourglass shape with like a fat ass and and it's like that's the face of like body positivity, and it's like that's okay, that's cool and everything, but it's at the same time, I would love to see more men and women of color across the board when it comes to body positivity, because the first thing that I think of when it comes to body positivity is race, right? Like the biggest thing about my body is my skin color. The first thing people notice is that I'm Black, and then they notice that I'm big, right? Yeah. So it's like being body positive, like for me, you can't be racist and be body positive. Those shits can't go hand in hand. Like, how can you be positive about your body and, you know, spread body positivity, but then be like, you know, say some racist like fuck shit.
What last question for me, like what should I wear, man? I mean, just tell me, you know. Like what do I need to wear? Because I'm getting into give me some, you know, woo. Yeah. Give me a little you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Give me a little, you know, drop it a little. I want to be able to come in this bitch. What the fuck? Give me some of that Winston Duke shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you know
what I'm saying? Like tell me what to, because I shopped a specific way before, but tell me what to wear now, because I'm gonna have to be body positive for probably at least 4 or 5 more months. So
you should always be.
So tell me, what do I need to wear?
Do you like color?
Not really.
Okay. Oh, you like nah. Well, do you like to dress like kind of like casual? Like, do you just like to dress like grays and blacks?
I like to dress. I like to dress very utilitarian, simple but smooth. You know, I like to project. Okay. I like when you see me, I like to project power in what I'm wearing. You know what I mean? I like colors that make me look like I'm the man. You know, it's like, hey, it's me. That way I can throw you off and disarm you with how jolly I am.
Bet, yeah. I would get 5 t-shirts from Lululemon. They're called like the fundamental t-shirt, and you can work out in them and wear them out and about, right? I have 3 gray ones and 2 black ones and 1 white one that I wear all of the time. Right. I usually wear like a shirt over it, like a colored shirt, or like a shacket is what they call them.
Oh, I love a shacket.
And then, right? Because it's like so versatile, right? Yeah. And then I would usually get some kind of jeans. So I personally have found that Madewell has really good jeans, especially for men, because they have the size, like the sizing is like incredible there. Like they have athletic taper, they have this taper. So if you're like a bigger guy that's meatier in the thighs, you can find stuff that fits in the thighs, but still gives you that tapered look at the bottom, right? Yeah. So I would suggest all guys go to Madewell to get jeans. And this ain't no plug, because I buy my jeans from Madewell, but they don't give me shit.
Kelvin, let everybody know what you're doing next, where they can find you, follow you, and I need to know where you got that hat from. Did you get that specially made?
I did, So if you look at it, you can see that it has my birthday here. It says 9/10/87. Wow. So it has the cards here, and then has like a little Virgo pen, and then I'm really into dinosaurs, has butterflies on it.
I love it.
Thank you. I got it from a guy in Nashville called Travis Austin, and he makes custom hats. He basically will like design it with you and all that stuff, and and he can do any color. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, where can everybody find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Kelvin Davis, Facebook at Notoriously Dapper, Twitter at Notoriously Dapper as well. And my blog is notoriously-dapper.com. And can't forget about my book, Notoriously Dapper, How to Be a Modern Day Gentleman with Manner, Style, and Body Confidence. It's a really good book, especially for young Black men. You need to read it and understand how to be who you are in this world, so nobody else can take advantage of your own masculinity.
Yes.
Absolutely. My man,
Yeah.
Kelvin Davis, we look forward to having you back, brother. We're going to do a style check-in because I'm going to wear some outfits, and then I'm going to see what you think about them.
We're going to push you outside of your comfort zone. Add a little color, add a shacket here. Maybe get you one of these hats. You look good in a hat. You should do it.
I got a peek
You know,
on
Van,
baby steps.
Yeah,
I think you would look really good in purple, man. Bet.
Purple?
Like purple.
A royalty color.
like
The color of royalty.
Yeah. I can see you in like a purple Psycho Bunny polo.
Okay. I'm with that.
Yeah.
Purple.
Yeah,
I'll try some purple. I'll try some purple Kelvin. We're gonna 2023 is the year of me blossoming into a fashionista. Kelvin's gonna help me. Thank you so much for joining us on Higher Learning, my friend.
Thank you, Kelvin.
Thank you, brother.
All right. What'd you think of Kelvin?
I thought he was great. I love that you asked him for some fashion tips. And I hope that I hope that y'all connect and he pushes you out of your comfort zone. It was great. I hope he keeps pushing. What? Hope he keeps pushing the fashion industry to be more inclusive.
Tory Lanez, the trial has begun. The trial has begun. Okay.
I didn't even realize the trial was happening though.
It
kept getting postponed, and then now, bam, we're here.
I'm super excited about the trial.
I'm actually shocked we didn't cover this. We didn't go down and cover this.
I mean, go down and cover it.
Extra goes. I was in the courtroom. I was in the courtroom with A$AP Rocky.
Extra. Oh, I'm not. I thought you meant me go down there and cover this for Higher Learning.
No, I was right in the courtroom like this.
Do you know what's crazy about this trial?
What?
So we're going to cover the trial, and by the time we get back on Friday, there'll be more stuff that'll be coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the opening statements are happening Monday. Tory Lanez faces more than 22 years in prison if he's convicted on all three felony counts he is charged with. He recently waived his right to a jury trial on a newly added felony of discharge of a firearm with gross negligence.
He waived his right to a jury trial?
That means Judge David Hereford will decide that case alone. Tell people what that means.
Well, I mean, it just means that, 12 jurors won't be deciding the case. It's all up on the judge. The judge has the sole power, the decision making in this case. It's rare that you see that.
Why would one do that?
I mean, he probably doesn't think he can get a fair trial of his jurors. I mean, this case is a very popular case. Megan Thee Stallion is loved. And as so many people know so much about this, the court of public opinion has been on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that his attorneys are probably like, listen, you need someone who has sworn, to the court, to their office, that they're going to be fair and just and not biased in any way. So I think this team was like, listen, let's take our chances with the judge.
Interesting.
Rather than, juries are tough.
Interesting. So according to different and various outlets, both Tory Lanez and Kelsey Nicole are confirmed to have tested positive for gunshot residue. So there's some talk about being able to verify that, but according to reports, they've both tested positive for gunshot residue. Mm-hmm. Kelsey Harris, who is Megan's friend, Kelsey Harris, Kelsey Nicole, she plans to testify, according to prosecutors, that she saw Tory Lanez shoot Megan Thee Stallion.
She's got to.
Megan Thee Stallion, from what I understand, also plans to testify that she saw Tory Lanez shoot her.
Yeah.
Now, with both of them having gunshot residue on them, in this case, it seems as if there's an either or there because from what I understand, Tory Lanez's people
are going to say
that Kelsey was the shooter.
Yeah.
Kelsey is going to say that Tory Lanez was the shooter.
Yeah.
I want you to tell us from your legal eagle, Donnie. I want you to tell us with everything that we know now, and there's going to be so many facts coming out about this. How does this look for Megan v. Tory Lanez?
Well, here's going to be the hard part. Reasonable doubt, right? That's the standard here. All the defense has to do is create some type of doubt. And with there being gun residue also on Kelsey Harris's hand, it leaves the door open to say maybe she did the shooting. Like they're going. I don't know the science behind gun residue.
If I had a gun right now and I shot,
would I be close enough to you for it to be on my hand?
There'd be GSR on you right now.
Okay, so if that being explained to, well, I was going to say a jury,
especially
to the
if we're in
judge,
a car, maybe in this room, but if we're in a car enclosed and I'm shooting, you'd have gunshot residue.
And it's not on Megan.
No, Megan was outside of the car.
Oh, she's outside of the car when it happened.
So because Megan's outside the car, there's not going to be any
gunshot
residue on her.
No. So I think once that's explained, then that can lead to the fact that he's two people testifying. It's just going to come down to their word. Two people testifying. How believable are they? It's with the judge, not the jury. So but it can create doubt.
Actually, I'm sure there'd be. I mean, Megan was shot, so she didn't need any gunshot.
But on her hand, I'm assuming it's on their hand.
I mean, it doesn't matter. In terms of, I mean, being on your hand is like where it is. I'm sure will be important.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then you really could never prove a shooter that's standing in the vicinity of another shooter. You know what I mean?
So it's got to be where the gun residue.
Well, what I'm saying in this case is, if you have an eyewitness, they either have to prove that Kelsey is believable.
That's what I'm saying.
Or they have to prove in some way. Here's the thing.
But if they can create enough doubt, because they're going to testify that she was the shooter, and I don't know what else is going to come with that. They can't just, I'm sure that defense team is not going to stand in court and say, Tory Lanez going to take the stand and say, well, actually, she was the shooter. They're going to offer more to that, whether it's circumstantial or not. So it'll be up to the judge to decide who is more believable. But they're good. But the residue does create some reasonable doubt, which is all they need.
You know what the most interesting thing about this to me is?
What?
Right now, this looks bad for Tory Lanez. You know, I'm not a legal eagle as you are, and I'm not sure what's going to happen and how this all is going to shake out. But I've been talking to people about this. The outcome of the case, I thought, would be incredibly consequential in terms of the way people view this entire saga, this opera, and what it's been. But I don't think that it will be now. I don't think that the decision in this matters.
To the public.
To parts of the public. If it turns out that Tory Lanez doesn't get convicted for shooting Meg Thee Stallion, the people who believe Meg won't stop believing.
Right, I'm one of them.
Right, won't stop believing it, right? If it turns out that Tory Lanez is convicted for shooting Meg Thee Stallion, the guys who, particularly men, who support Tory Lanez won't change that. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine that's like, I don't understand with all this evidence, because if you read the transcripts and all the discovery, all of this stuff that's going to come out in the trial was in there. And it looked bad for him if you look at all of this, right? But like, why was he so demonstrative about his innocence? And why was he so, why did he sort of create and weave this sort of public narrative the last couple of years? I think it was to grab a portion of people with whatever his story was and draw them to his side no matter what happened.
I agree.
Was to say, hey, this is a black man versus black woman issue, to sort of engender this dissension between black women and black men, and to do this all to sort of create a vacuum where it doesn't really matter like what's going on with
Sure.
it. to carve out this sort of space to where there's really nothing you can say. And I think to a large degree, Tory Lanez has been successful in drawing so many people to believe that he in some way is being treated unfairly, or that she in some way represents the Black woman that is always trying to overshadow, depower, and emasculate the Black man, that it doesn't really matter what happens, that a lot of people's minds like won't be changed.
I agree. I think that, I mean, if you've been defending Tory this long, you're going to stand beside him no matter what happens. You're just going to choose to not agree with or agree with whatever the court decides. Just like I said, he can be found not guilty. I'm still going to believe he shot her. I'm
Is that problematic? Is it problematic that if there's a whole trial and Tory Lanez is exonerated, not exonerated, because a trial doesn't necessarily exonerate you. It just says, hey, if he's found not guilty in a trial, that you still won't believe it. Is that a problem?
Of course it's a problem. Because, I mean, according to the court, even though we've seen the court be wrong at times, he went through the process, and the process said that he was not guilty. But that doesn't mean that he's innocent. It means that they didn't have enough to prove for him to be guilty. That's how I am looking at it. But you're right. He worked this to his benefit. And there was no, I mean, whether he, only those people in the car will know the truth. If he knew that the outcome was always going to be that he was going to go to a trial, he was going to be found guilty, at least he did as much as he could in the last couple of years to try to turn people towards him to the point where they won't turn back.
Looking at all the evidence, I think it's pretty clear that Tory Lanez is the shooter here. But you have to let the trial play out, in my opinion. Are you worried about living in a world where an accusation is a conviction? Because if you say right now that, let me ask you this, more to the point. Why do you believe, no matter what happens in the trial, that Tory shot Meg? What is it?
Well, because of alone what you just laid out. Okay. Right? I've listened to her talk. It doesn't make sense adding it up. And I'm just looking at the pieces of evidence that have come out. To me, it is very obvious that he shot her. So whether, people fumble, drop the ball all the time when the prosecution might not put on the best case and the defense may put on a better case. And let's say,
an OJ situation.
I was just about to say, like the OJ trial, they've played to the emotions of the jury and the people on it and the court of public opinion more than they tried that case in that courtroom. And it worked. So it's not always, people can manipulate the system. So for me, based on what I know to this point, it is very obvious that he pulled the trigger. Do I have to say allegedly? I don't know. For legal, I don't know if I say that. But if we do, allegedly. It's very obvious. But that doesn't, if he's found not guilty, I can't sit here. I can say I have my opinion, but at the end of the day, he was found not guilty. Right? It's the same thing people do to Michael.
So let me ask you this. Last question here. So it's not just that she said that she was shot. It was that she said that she was shot. And from what you've seen of the case, the facts bear out that she was shot. Okay. I mean, I agree with that.
Do. Yeah, but they really do. And I think people who don't want to accept that are just reading headlines, maybe just reading some of the discourse on social media, but they're not paying attention to actually what's coming out. So I would encourage everybody to pay attention to the information that's coming out of this trial. Sounds like there's not a camera in the courtroom, because I feel like we would have known that at this point. So, pay attention to the pieces, the reports that are coming out.
I work out with Shannon Sharpe. He's
Donnie.
Unfathomably strong. Okay? He's like, when I say work out with him, that's a little misleading. I work out in the same gym where he works out.
Donnie.
And whatever. And Miss, I'm on a television show. I'm on a special show. My name is Rachel. Someone please bring something to my trailer.
This is literally
It's me, Rachel. I demand right now to have a honey baked ham in my trailer. I love pork.
I love a honey baked ham.
I know you do. I know you do. I could just see you with a fork and a knife and a big hunk of pig.
I'm so excited for the holidays.
Fucking sugar on it. Who, y'all? Hey man, we gotta stop with this honey baked ham bullshit. Who eats a hunk of pork?
Well, you act like I just take a bite out of the whole
sugar.
thing.
It's just you just take a big hunk of pork and dip it in sugar. That's what you do. It's a hunk of pork and sugar. That's what you get.
I have slices.
You have slices with the little pineapple. They put the pineapple.
No, we don't do the pineapple.
They put. Am I bullshitting about that?
Some people prepare it that way. We don't.
Yeah, prepare it that way.
No,
we don't prepare.
We don't prepare ours.
We'll
that
prepare
way.
our ham in that way. Okay, so Shannon Sharpe, 3-time Super Bowl champion, NFL Hall of Famer, has to defend himself against Skip Bayless. Look, people get mad at Skip about a great many things. This is the most disrespectful thing Skip has ever done on TV.
It really was.
Play it.
Still playing at a high level at 45 when you had to stop at 35.
That's what you do.
That's the point.
That's what you do. Every time I call something into question, I'm jealous.
No,
Skip, I did what I
never
did.
said you were jealous of Baker Mayfield.
Skip, I did what I did. You make it seem like I was a bum. I'm in the effing Hall of Fame.
Okay,
I
so
got 3 Super Bowls.
So what?
So what?
He's way better than you were.
I'm better than you.
Better.
Skip, what? I got to see what you do. You take personal shots.
No, I don't take personal shots. You started it.
Time out. You would take a personal shot at me.
I didn't take a personal shot at you.
Wait a minute.
What are you talking about?
You would take a personal...
Put your glasses back on.
Can I finish? You're willing to take a personal shot at me to say this man is better than me because I say he's playing bad this year?
Well, because you
Go ahead.
you disrespect him. It's just so. You know what? It's beneath your
you
dignity.
You would disrespect me to support him.
No, well, I'll support him over anybody because he's the greatest player who ever played your game, and it's by far.
Have at it.
Okay,
Take off, bro.
I'm going to have at it.
Can I say something?
Please.
I got to be real about this. There's something troubling about Skip Bayless. And let me tell you what it is. Donnie, I want you to find me a piece of video/audio between Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless from around 2010 or 2011 when Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless were on ESPN First Take, and they're on First Take, and Skip Bayless comes at Jalen Rose's career, and Jalen Rose responds. I want you to bring that video up, okay? I want you to talk about that.
That don't mean you can jack up threes. That's
What
just
were you,
position.
Jalen? What were you?
Where were you? Did you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so all of that Pistol P stuff, Water Pistol Pete Jr.
Okay, well, we'll address that later. We're going to.
Don't ignore that.
He goes on to say, did you play JV as a junior?
Yeah.
Okay. So what people don't know about that is that back and forth between Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless, where Jalen Rose took it upon himself to question Skip Bayless's athletic past because he had said that he was like Pistol Pete. He was too Pistol Pete. And that's the reason why he didn't go on to become this great basketball player. He had to learn how to play within the offense, but he was too dope a scorer for a coach to want him to play, which of course makes a lot of sense. That one back and forth right there led to a week-long salvo of every single show that First Take was doing being about the relationship between the commentator and an athlete. They then brought Stephen A. Smith on to talk about, to mediate, if you will, between Jalen Rose and Skip Bayless. There was then conversations with Marcellus Wiley later on that week, Ryan Clark later on that week, where they continued to talk about what the line is, all because Skip Bayless had his feelings hurt because someone on Twitter actually dug up Skip Bayless's high school stats and showed that Skip Bayless was a scrub in high school. Big deal, okay? There is a troubling amount of disrespect that Skip Bayless shows black athletes in particular. And it seems to me that there is no station of black athlete that has done enough or achieved enough for Skip Bayless not to debase them, dehumanize them, and treat them like an idiot on TV. I want to think about this. Skip Bayless attacks LeBron James Jr.
Oh.
He attacks Bronny James, who hasn't even gotten the opportunity to write his legacy yet.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless attacks Hall of Famer Terrell Owens, who has, whatever you say about T.O. off the field, has nothing to prove on the football field. Comes at Jalen Rose, talking to him about his career. Jalen Rose played 16, 17 years in the league, made all kinds of crazy money, was a great player, had years where he averaged 20 points. Nobody can call Jalen Rose a scrub. Skip Bayless comes at Russell Westbrook. Look, I get it. Most of these sports have majority black players, so there are a lot more black players to be critical of. But it doesn't seem as if there's anything that a black player can do to be outside of the ire of Skip Bayless. Shannon Sharpe is a fucking dog. A number one minted one of the best ever at his position. Shannon Sharpe wasn't blowing up teams off the field. Shannon Sharpe was a model citizen on and off the field who would catch the ball, who would block, who would find a way to be productive in whatever offense you would put him in, the consummate team player, the consummate hard worker, all of those things. But Skip Bayless is still on TV telling this black man to put his fucking glasses back on. I'm not saying it, but I'm saying this. At some point, Skip Bayless got to get off a nigga dick. Well, I'm just gonna be real. I'm serious. And all of the other stuff, I get it. These guys aren't perfect. Like when I say they're not perfect, their careers aren't perfect. But Tom Brady is whack right now, and Shannon Sharpe has done more than enough to be able to give his opinion on his fucking television show about Tom Brady.
In the sport he played in.
The sport that he played in for years without being attacked by fucking Skip Bayless. Skip Bayless owes Shannon Sharpe an apology.
Huge. But for various reasons, because it's one thing if you say, oh, Skip Bayless is this personality and he just likes to say things that get people riled up, so people are talking on social media or other shows. But when there's a pattern, you gotta let that narrative go and you gotta start paying attention to what's actually happening. And that exchange is so disrespectful. One, because it discredits who Shannon Sharpe is as a man. It discredits who he is as an athlete.
Absolutely.
And it discredits who he is as his colleague. You guys share the stage on this show together. It is your show. And because you didn't like what he was saying about one of your favorite players, you start hitting below the belt and using an illogical argument just because Shannon Sharpe was saying Tom Brady had a bad performance in this game. Not that he is a bad player, not even that he's particularly having the worst season. He specifically talked about his performance in this game, and you couldn't match that. So instead, you tried to strip him down with your words and basically try to emasculate him. And kudos to Shannon Sharpe because you could see he was about to lose it, and the only thing he lost were his glasses in that argument. But I don't know how he kept it together, and the way that Skip Bayless was yelling at him like he was a boy.
No.
If I'm Shannon Sharpe, I'm taking the rest of the week off. I got to talk to the higher ups at this point.
Listen, just so people know, 3-time Super Bowl champ, 4-time first team All-Pro. If you guys don't know what that means 4 times in his career, Shannon Sharpe was the very best tight end in his league. Second team All-Pro, 1995. So we're talking about 5 All-Pro teams, 8 Pro Bowls, NFL 1990s All-Decade Team, Denver Broncos Ring of Fame, Denver Broncos 50th Anniversary Team, NFL record for most receiving yards in a game by a tight end. That's 214 yards. Shannon Sharpe, a dog. An absolute dog. A dog. No other way to put it. Skip Bayless out his mind.
Very much so.
Skip Bayless off that yak.
I need
off
to
that
hear
sauce. I'm gonna be real. Skip Bayless, we need to hear I apologize.
Yeah.
To Shannon Sharpe come out of Skip Bayless's mouth.
So we won't. So then what? Because he's not gonna apologize. I'd be shocked if he apologizes. So now what?
Let's see. Well, now we get to get on his ass. Get on his motherfucking ass. Skip Bayless. All right. Breaking news. P-22 has been captured safely.
How do you feel, Van?
I feel great.
Good.
I'm glad.
And I feel great too for all the other animals out here.
Like, I'm glad that P-22 has been brought in safely. He's been captured safely. Okay. Now we get to figure out how we goddamn deal with P-22. Okay. What has to happen with P-22? I'm glad that P-22 is doing okay. Are you happy that P-22 has been?
The streets are safe. The streets are safe.
Why are you against animals though?
I'm not against animals. I'm literally speaking on behalf of animals.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why are
He's not attacking me. I'm speaking on behalf of animals. So I'm not against animals, Van. I'm speaking on the fallen chihuahuas.
No, here's the thing.
God knows who else.
Here's the thing about you. You support the animals that you can control.
That is so not true.
That's definitely true.
I don't only support.
Give me another animal. Give me another. You hate birds because they fly.
I hate birds. They're evil. I'm convinced, y'all. I'm
They fly
convinced.
out
Have
of
you
your
ever
control.
looked at a bird in the eye?
Huh?
Have you ever just looked at a bird?
I have.
Look at the beady little eyes, the claws.
Their claws, so they can. So give me an example of an animal
I've been attacked by a bird.
Give me an example of an animal that you love that you can't control.
A horse.
Nigga.
They're wild horses.
Why in the fuck would you say that you can't control a horse?
Wild horses.
The entire. It's such a bad answer. Donnie, jump in. Is that not a terrible answer?
It is. That's one of the most controllable animals.
Yeah, like it's such a
I've been watching a lot of Yellowstone, okay?
Terrible answer.
They couldn't control all those horses.
The horse is
Fine. Let me find another
Western
one.
civilization is partly based on the ability to control the horse.
They're wild horses.
They're wild horses until you throw a saddle on their back and ride them motherfuckers until they
Okay, let me think.
Think about an animal that can't be controlled that you like. A wild animal that you like.
I'm kind of fond of bears.
Okay, it's very hard to control a bear. I mean, when I say, and by the way, everybody's gonna be, well, you can train a bear. You don't want to try.
Yeah.
You know? You don't really want to try to.
Do elephants count?
Elephants count. Elephants count. I mean, who can hate an elephant? Donnie, you like an elephant?
Love elephants.
Whoa.
Yes, big fan.
Jesus Christ.
They're smart.
Donnie.
Love elephants.
What the fuck is going on? How many times have you seen Dumbo, nigga? Like, Donnie.
Honestly, not that many times.
Donnie, I
Dumbo
talk
is
to you about
sad.
something.
Go for
Like,
it.
you having a sports moment, bro.
I am. My teams are in it. Michigan, waiting for these playoffs to get started.
Oh, Michigan.
And then the Lions.
The Lions.
What are they,
waiting for
6
these
and 7?
playoffs
7
to
and
get
7?
started.
Nah, the Lions.
We are in the graphic.
The Lions playing good, man.
But they're like 7 and
We're on
7,
a roll.
right? They're on a streak. Or 6 and 7. 6 and
No,
7.
the Lions beat the fucking Vikings yesterday.
Well, I think the Vikings were a lot of hype. But I do. Detroit, listen, I had one of your receivers on my fantasy before I got kicked out.
You know what's crazy about the NFL is that LSU just continues to ball. I've seen so many LSU.
Did you just go watch them lose?
Like LSU continues to ball.
Yo,
DJ Chark Jr., LSU. Justin Jefferson, LSU.
Oh, you mean in the league.
Jamar Chase,
Guys.
LSU. Russell Gage, LSU. There's so many LSU receivers around the league that are Terrence Marshall.
I don't want to talk about
LSU.
sports right now because of what's happening right now with Texas.
What's happening with Texas?
Chris Beard just got suspended.
Is that the
and
coach?
rightfully so. because the allegations of domestic violence, and there's a call of strangulation.
Hold on. This is the coach of Texas.
We're number 2.
And they suspended him?
Suspended him. Came out 911 call. The phone was up. I haven't heard the call, but they immediately went out there. It's accusations of strangulation. And then my cousin just texted me and said he's been suspended. And rightfully so. Like, what the fuck, Chris Beard? But, I don't really want to talk about college sports right now.
Huh. You ready for Van's very serious question of the week?
Oh, you got one? Okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm. If you could have in the 2024 election...
Is this what you were going to ask my mom?
No.
When my mom was here? Okay.
No, that's a different question. It's down the line. It's probably inappropriate. If you could have a black female president in 2024 or $5 million in your personal account, which one would you choose?
$5 million. Just like that. And if anybody says anything different, you a lie. Only way I'm going to say yes to that is if I can confirm that certain things are going to get done for us. To see it happen, sure. Is that worth $5 million in my bank account right now? Not necessarily. I'm sorry.
So between $5 million and a black female president, you would choose the $5 million.
I might go a little lower.
What's the
It's got to be millions. It's got to be million.
Well, okay, so right now, if it was a choice between a black female president and $500,000, would you take it?
Tax-free?
If it was between a black female president in 2024 and $500,000 tax-free, would you take it?
I'm taking the money. I'm taking the money. I love y'all. I love being a black woman. It would be history. It'd be a beautiful thing to see. But I'm gonna take $500,000 tax free.
Donnie, forget about $5. $500,000, black female president, 2024.
I'm easily going with the money because you're being broad. We don't know what black woman you're talking about. It could be Tamika Hamilton.
Okay.
Oh, that's
okay. Okay. Wait a minute.
I was even thinking of Stacey Abrams.
Hey, but you know what? That's bullshit, though.
I'm just saying.
You know what the spirit of the hypo is. You know what I'm talking about. You know what the spirit of the hypo. Oh, by the way, Tamika Hamilton has reached out to me and asked to come on Higher Learning again.
She didn't reach out to me?
She didn't reach out to you.
Hit me up, Tamika. You want to come on here?
You guys want Tamika Hamilton back on the podcast?
For what? Did she win?
No, she lost, but she wants to talk more about what's going on with her.
She wants to redeem her last performance.
Do we think that we should bring Tamika Hamilton back on?
It's all about redemption.
Redemption.
Save that question for her.
All right, I definitely will. Ashleigh.
Yes.
500,000. We brought the number down now. The new serious question. Would you rather have $500,000 cash tax-free or a black female president in 2024?
I would take the money.
You niggas ain't shit.
I'm sorry, I can't confirm. Other than their very being and their presence and it being a historic moment, I can't confirm what you will or won't do in office.
You niggas ain't shit, man.
If there were a list of things that I could attach to that presidency, sure. Sure.
So you're taking the president then? I'm assuming, Van.
No. Then don't try to have some female empowerment moment. He's taking the money. Ain't nobody gonna judge you.
All right. Take your thinking caps off, but do not stop learning. We are the Sellout Crew here at Higher Learning. I am Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel and Lindsay. Bye, guys.